All right. I don't know where to do because the recording kind of screwed up. I'm just going to start over, right? I'm going to start over. Did I close the video? The hell? What happened to the video, brother? Okay. Let's start over. So as I was saying,
Weapons free. You are clear to engage.
I'm just going to run with it. Even if you couldn't see, because this is experimental. Like, you're at fault for watching this, really. Computers just don't want to function, man. Whatever. We do it live. We do it live. Okay. So. How did I get here? What exactly was I saying? The dude goes hollow, starts shooting at you, whatever. You could see I'm still sticking to this lane. Because it's a good option. I'm waiting here to see if someone will come. I'm keeping my aim in between all the important areas. Just waiting to see what will happen. But no one comes here. Sometimes I just try to figure out what the enemy is doing. So I take a second and just wait to see when the enemy will come. They try not to come, but they always do. And you can see, like, this is already, like, this is bold. You don't do this in a competitive lobby. You don't do this right here if you're in a lobby that you actually have to worry, right? Because, I mean, look at these sight lines. Look how long these sight lines are, Like, that's... I hate technology, man. I turned my PlayStation controller on and the gaming monitor automatically switched to my PlayStation for some reason without asking me. And it takes forever to do that. We switch back. So, like, this is already, like, that's, like, 35 meters out there, Like, this is already, like, out to where this is, that's, like, 35 meters. Right? That's, like, 35 meters away. So, my SMG, like, I'm gonna, if someone were to, like, just be around there, maybe there was someone here, maybe there was someone here. Or someone here, just anywhere off of spawn, not in the air. I messed that up, right? If someone was, like, here, right? Like, they're all just outside my range, Right? Like, even if your gun does reach, like, you don't know where people are going to be, right? So, like, I might think to chase the guy, but if there's some guy there, or if there's people there, like, I am exposing myself. So you can see me play it careful in the clip because you really shouldn't be challenging stuff like this with an SMG. So you might think that the task force barrel is just too difficult to use. My argument is that if you're not using the task force barrel on these SMGs, then you might as well not use the SMGs, Like, why would you not just use the Tech 9 at that point? So you can see, yeah, I'm looking for people to see what they are. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to challenge. I'm just going to run in here, see if this guy is here. There he is. And I turn on that guy. I guess I heard him. I probably heard his footsteps. I don't remember. Yeah, I think I heard his footsteps coming up behind me. And then I turned and this guy came. And then I just turned on this guy who can't hit his shots. And you can see, like, the one like, having headshots there. The task force barrel giving me a faster time to kill definitely helps. I don't remember the input for this. Yeah, see, that was a 4-shot kill right there. Which was good because you could see my health. My health was dangerously low there. My health was dangerously low, although it's very grayed out. So, getting that faster time to kill. Without the task force barrel, the bullfrog needs 2 headshots to reduce shots to kill, right? Which is a much, much bigger pain. 1 headshot happens by accident constant. 2 headshots requires a bit more luck and a bit more intention. 3 headshots almost always going to require a lot of skill, right? So Task Force Barrel really reduces the requirement on you for hitting those headshots.
RCXD available.
And you see, I'm just waiting. Once again, like, I'm not going to go out there and challenge it because I don't know, like, if it was a closer range area, maybe I would go out there and challenge it some. Although, really, you don't want to push the spawn too hard and flip the spawns anyway, right? But I would be more willing to go out there and challenge it if it weren't for the fact that everything's a long-range sightline out there. And even if you're within the SMG damage range, you do have to worry about recoil to an extent. And while you could deal with recoil, dealing with SMG Task Force recoil on someone 20 meters away, if they're already waiting for you and aim down sight behind cover, that's a hard thing to do, you know? Ideally, when you're using SMGs like this, you want to catch people out in the open. SMGs are really best for catching people in bad spots, catching them out in the open, catching them without cover. That's where they shine, you know? So I wait here. I can hear his footsteps. And you can see just, once again, those headshots just really coming in clutch there. And you can see I'm not even really trying to hit it. It just happens. Yeah, it just happens by normal aim, you know. That was a 3-shot headshot kill, I think. I didn't even know that was possible with the Bullfrog. I guess it makes sense because that actually does make sense though. I guess I'm discovering something new here. Because the Bullfrog does 35 damage per shot, and headshots are typically, on this gun, are probably 1.4 times multiplier. And if you get up to 15, if that gets you up to 15, because I know from Modern Warfare 2, because in the original Modern Warfare 2, so many guns did 40 damage. So you knew with stopping power with a headshot, it went from 40 damage to 56, because 1.4 times 40 is 16, right? So if you get up to 15 damage, extra damage on a headshot, that's 50 damage, and 50 times 3 is 150, which is what's required to kill. So yeah, I never thought about it, but a 3-shot headshot does look like it's possible with the Bullfrog. So once again, another way that the Task Force Barrel can come in clutch for you. If that also might have been, the more I've been, like, now that this is the first time I've actually been slowing down clips to look at damage, genuinely, maybe server tick rate does play a part in it. Maybe 60 server tick rate instead of 120 really does play a part in it. Because it does seem a little bit inconsistent now that I really break it down. Either way, you saw, waited for them to get close. I'm being very bold, challenging that guy there, you know. Like, once again, this isn't a challenging lobby anyway. Like, I can afford to do some crazy crap. But, I mean, the Task Force Barrel does really help you stretch out ranges. Another thing the Task Force Barrel is good for, the real reason the Task Force Barrel is so important is because you get, you know, headshots are far more capable. Like I've been talking about, I've talked about headshots. Damage range is the biggest increase to damage range you can typically get with an SMG. And bullet velocity is hugely increased. And all of this comes at no cost to mobility. And mobility is one of the most important things about an SMG. Task Force Barrel makes your SMG much stronger with no cost to mobility. It's really the best of both worlds most of the time. There are some SMGs which I think the Task Force Barrel doesn't really help on or is unnecessary. But the Bullfrog, the MP5, those are definitely, and obviously the Tech 9 are guns that I think absolutely do benefit, right? I also, like, the PPSH also really benefits from it. A lot of the SMGs do. Like, even, you can just, like, you see how often you randomly get the headshots, like, when you're not even trying? You see how often it happens just coincidentally? You really don't have to try. Like, that was not on purpose, you know? Like 3 kills in a row have just been complete accident. Well, not 3 kills minus the last one. I've just been completely accidentally getting those headshots. Like, this is one of the things, is a lot of people were asking for Black Ops 6 to have shots kill reduced in one headshot. But the thing is, like, this is what happens if it's only one headshot required. You're just constantly getting accidentally a faster time to kill. It makes time to kill very inconsistent at times, you know? And that's okay if the game is kind of built around it, but it does kind of have a cascading effect at times. It just keeps happening, dude, you know? It really does. Yeah, but like the question is, if you don't use the bullfrog with task force barrel, why would you not use the tech 9, you know? Like, sure, there are advantages to the bullfrog, like it can be silenced, it can have a bigger magazine, but I mean, if your time to kill isn't good enough, is it really gonna matter, you know? Like, at the end of the day, you need to be able to leverage something. You need to be able to leverage something at the end of the day. Is that a 4-shot kill at that range? Jeez. And bullet velocity can be a bigger deal than you think, right? Like the default bullet velocity for the MAC-10, for example. Like, let's do some math. I know, but let's do some math, okay? The default bullet velocity for the MAC-10 is 100 meters per second, right? That means, or 200 meters per second, I mean, is 200 meters per second, right? So it takes like, in order for the bullet to go 200 meters, it takes 1 second. That means for it to go 50 meters, it takes 250 milliseconds. So if you're fighting someone, the time to kill of the MAC-10 is 324 milliseconds out to an infinite range, right? But if you're fighting someone at 50 meters with that 200 meter per second bullet velocity, you have to add on that 250 millisecond bullet velocity. I am so sorry that I'm struggling to convey this math to you. It's probably confusing you. Not 250 meter per second. Okay. You have to add on this 250 milliseconds from that bullet traveling 50 meters to the time to kill. So your time to kill with the MAC-10 isn't 324 milliseconds. It's actually 574 milliseconds because of that bullet velocity. So at ranges, I mean, it depends on the range and stuff, but bullet velocity actually contributes to time to kill to some degree. Now, I don't know exactly how bullet velocity works in this game, because I think starting in MW22, they introduced this hybrid bullet velocity system where it's hit scan for a while and then it becomes a projectile. I don't know if that's the case in Cold War. I think Cold War, it's always a projectile, but I don't remember for sure. And, you know, even the best die sometimes. It happens. But, I mean, I'm also, like, I am stretching the ranges out a bit, but again, like, these guys are not any challenge for me, you know? Like, the enemy team is, I'm just screwing around. I'm playing a video game, you know, playing games because, I know I can. You can see me once again defaulting to this lane. Even if I go this route, right, I can stay behind this pillar to block off that long-range sight line. I can come over here, and I do kind of have to worry about people who are here, right? I do kind of have to worry about people who walk up here, take this position, looking at me. But I don't have to worry about them for long, because I can duck in here, and people typically aren't going to take that position, right? So this lane gives you some options for moving up. You do have to worry about people over here, but if you know there's no enemies in this general area, if you know that this general area is clear, or that someone's not looking through this little spot here, then you're pretty safe to move up at least to here, and then you're much closer range, right? I mean, I guess they can see over, like, they can just see over pretty easily, but, like, a lot of people aren't actually looking this way when they come this way. It's still not perfect, and once again, I think Cold War does have an issue with giving you cover to move up, but you do have some options. It's like that's why you stick to that lane. It gives you the most options to move up. And once again, I'm just trying to locate the enemy. I have no frickin' clue what they're doing. Sometimes you don't know what they're doing. Dude, look at that time to kill. Like, Task Force Barrel really helps you stretch that out, you know? Dude. It's so good. Honestly, with the damage, even if your damage drops off, if you hit 2 headshots, you might still get a 4-shot kill when the damage drops off once. I don't know the damage numbers. Ah, and he came up behind me. I forgot about that. Yeah, one of the problems here is, I mean, this is one of the problems with the SMGs, is it's really hard to challenge people. I mean, look at this sight line, dude. Look at that. That's like 35 meters right there. I know I said earlier that it was 35 meters, but this is actually like 35 meters right here. Like out to where that wall is here. You know, you see that wall out there? That's actually like 35 meters away. That's a terrible 3. Right? So that's definitely outside my range. And there's also cover there. There's some bits of cover to worry about. So I have to deal with recoil and them being outside my range if they're there. So this is like if you're playing against a good team, you do not want to come from this direction with an SMG unless you smoke it. Like if you were playing against a good team, this would be a bad route to take, right? And you learn this. This is like this is, how do I put this without sounding repetitive? This is why you stick to this lane. Because if you're playing against a good team, you can maneuver a decent bit of the map. You can kind of have this entire area to play around with, right? Like you can kind of stick to this entire part of the lane. And it may not seem like a big deal because there's, you know, there's a another 80% of the map that you're not really covering by doing it. But enemies still typically trickle into this area at some rate, you know? It's very dangerous to go down this lane with an SMG because you have to worry about this into this, like, bottleneck, kind of suicidal, the little suicidal bottleneck. Or you come over here into this kind of suicide little bottleneck. It's you don't have all that much to work with. I guess you could stick around here. You could stay hidden, sequestered back here, you know, like the enemy can't see you past like here, or like, I mean, they can't really see there at all, right? So you can stay kind of sequestered in this area, but which I guess isn't much different. If you know the enemy isn't here, you can kind of take control of this area and hold it down. But it does feel less popular. This lane is less traversed. But I'm just looking for them. I don't consider them much of a threat, so I can do what I want. You know? Looking to try and figure out where they are. Like, that guy doesn't even see me. Hey, I got the max weapon level for the bullfrog.
We're taking control. We're losing this fight. Hostile sentry turret active.
I get a lot more kills in this game, too. Oh, and here's a fun trick. You don't actually need the side for this. They just make it easier. I'm a terrible shot, but that, you know, this enemy team is oblivious, so it's whatever. But the problem is, like, the reason why the Task Force Barrel is necessary here is because without it, the bullfrog would regularly have a much worse time to kill. It would have much worse range, bullet velocity, worse mobility. You would be sacrificing something big. You could see their only real concern for me is recoil. because the downsides of the task force barrel for SMGs are recoil and ammo. But if you're going on a streak with your gun, you're probably using scavenger, right? Like 99% of the time you're using scavenger. So ammo isn't a concern. So recoil is the only concern, and the recoil isn't really much of a concern. So there's basically, as long as you're playing the SMG correctly and catching people when they're in uncomfortable spots and not in cover, recoil is not really a concern, you know? Recoil is only really a concern if you're trying to challenge people who are on good cover. Jesus Christ, dude. This media player is weird. It does not like to go back. You can see me, I'm waiting here for them to get closer, you know? Because, once again, it's not really good to challenge them down these long sight lines. I don't want to walk around the corner and have them looking at me and just aim down sight with an M16 or something and immediately delete me, right? Okay, so he was already weak from something. I don't know what the hell he was weak from. Yeah, I didn't see him. My eyes did not register that man. I'm just being cheeky there. And this guy's coming at me, so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do something funny. I'm gonna napalm strike this guy specifically. So I'm gonna get behind cover here. I realized at the last second this isn't really a great piece of cover because the napalm is gonna hit behind me, and so this isn't really gonna protect me, but whatever. I get us both. You know what? Scorched earth. Like, quite literally, scorched earth there, you know? One thing about Black Ops Cold War is... I didn't even see that guy, by the way. I just started shooting. Committing suicide is a genuine strategy in this game. Or I guess I shouldn't say it like that. Right? How should I say it? Respawning yourself. There you go. Respawning yourself is a genuine strategy, because when you respawn yourself, you do not give the enemy a point, but you deprive them of a kill, right? There are reasons to do it if you don't have to worry about your score streak, which is maybe one of the complaints about the score streak system that people have in Cold War. You know, if you can just respawn yourself without really having to worry, you know? Dude, look how, like, seriously, look how regularly I accidentally get the headshot I need to reduce shots to kill. And once again, I look out there, I take a glance to see what's out there, but running out there is kind of dangerous because I have to worry about people coming from all three directions at once. You know, it's a bit risky. You can get caught in a bad spot. So I go around the side here, where I really only have to worry about people in one direction. That's how we do it. Or people just not really seeming to pay attention on their team. And I mean no insult, by the way. Like, power to people who are coming to discover Cold War. It's just like, the game is in such a different spot now than it used to be. And I miss my shots. And you could see, yeah, like I said, when I said this is the state of Cold War, do you see this split, dude? Do you see this split? Like, I've got 5.0 KD, 11,000 score, 35 kills, right? And then one guy is doing okay, and then negative, 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 negative. That's just how it is on Cold War now. Like, every game. How it be. And this Kamala Harris person, hopefully not the real Kamala Harris. I would not want my presidential candidate to be this predictable, right? But yeah, once again, people are predictable sometimes. Like, you just know when you play enough Call of Duty. That guy just, well, he contributed to killing me, and he wants to get to this side of the map as quickly as possible, so he's gonna take the shortest route. So I know he's gonna be coming right through this doorway, and there it is, you know? People are just predictable like that sometimes. And just jumping right in front of me. I wanted to extend it and get like a quad feed or something. I didn't really see that guy there. I might have been looking at the UAV. Sometimes you just miss people. But we're really pulling ahead now. My team seems to be helping. I mean, I got some good kills in there. I think my teammates getting some kills with the score streak, so... Bad shots from me, but... Interesting of that guy to challenge, but, you know, I'll give him credit for trying. Sometimes people do make some bad challenges. I've seen people make some terrible challenges. And this is funny. This situation is funny because I come up here and I'm looking at the UAV and I'm like, bro, where do I even go? Like, I see this and I'm like, what do I even do? Like, there's 3 there. There's a guy there. I'm like, what? I'm just gonna start shooting whoever I see. I don't even know, dude. I'll just shoot whoever. You can, like, sometimes you get such a good flank, such a juicy flank that you're like, I don't even know what to do with this, dude. I don't know where to start, you know?
Great job, CIA.
God. Can you see the difference? Like, my aim isn't even that good, but you can just see the difference in level of aim here, you know? I gotta admit, though, my reaction was pretty on point.
Great job.
I'll be honest, my reaction was kind of on point there. Like, that was a pretty immediate reaction.
Great job, CIA.
So,
No muss,
yeah,
no
that's the crux of my argument. A lot of SMGs, if you're not going to use the task force barrel, you might as well not use it. Like, part of the problem is there are a lot of ways in Cold War to get a much faster time to kill, and you really need to be taking advantage of those. In a game with such a slow time to kill, you cannot afford to not be taking advantage of that. You know, you have to be taking advantage of a fast time to kill, or you're not going to compete. You're not going to compete against people who are actually good. I don't know why my brain is so fried right now that I can't speak. I mean, you have things like crossbow to worry about. You have things like Ironhide, dual pistols, M16, the horror of the burst weapons, right? You have LMGs, you have the RPD, the oft overused RPD, which with one headshot kills in 170 milliseconds, which is insane, right? And you can't, like, with the Bullfrog, you can't afford to just be regularly killing at 320 milliseconds. You need to be getting, like, right there, you need to be getting those kills. You need to be getting the 240 millisecond kills. You need to be getting the better damage range and the better bullet velocity. It's just too important if you're trying to compete. So, contrary to what Ace says, where the recoil is too much to deal with some SMGs, I think if you're gonna use certain SMGs, you have to use the task force barrel. The MP5 is another really good one. The MP5 is another one where it's like you have to be using the task force barrel, or you might as well not use it. You might as well use a different weapon. You know, like, maps in Cold War are so long range. Even the shortest range lane has some limitations. Like, you have to kind of stick to these routes to get anywhere near. And the second you step out, boom, assault rifle ranges. You're just surrounded by assault rifle ranges in every direction, right? If you're using an SMG, you're already limiting yourself so much range-wise. If you don't pick the task force barrel, you are even further limiting your ability to fight at longer ranges, you know? So it's just too important. Now, I was hoping to get more examples to use for this, but I just wanted to see if recording would work this time, so I kept it simple. Kept it simple with just the Bullfrog on this game. Not the most exciting game, but I love drive-in, and I wanted to show off my drive-in picture, and I figured I'd just go over this game, you know? Coming back to Cold War, it's kind of weird having all these matches that are just a joke. It's like, this is not the Cold War I remember. And it's not like I took a break from Cold War for that long. Just like 2 months or so for Black Ops 6 and maybe a little bit before Black Ops 6 came out and stuff. But I'm like, a lot of people who played Cold War left for Black Ops 6, I think, which is the thing. So just got a whole bunch of these lobbies. Anyway, I hope to do more of this. I hope to iron out the problems, maybe figure out. I hope the mic worked. We'll have to see. But I'm glad to get a start on it, at least, you know? See what happens. So, thank you for watching. and I hope you are convinced by my argument. I doubt anyone even knows or cares about this. It's such an obscure thing. Barely anyone's playing Cold War. I'm making Cold War videos because I love the game, but people aren't playing it that much. And how many people are thinking about how necessary the task force barrel is for many SMGs, you know? To be honest with you, and one thing I forgot to mention is the Bullfrog really does kind of compete with the Tech 9 with the task force barrel because they have a similar time to kill out to a similar range. You know, like it's closer to the Tech 9 than people give it credit for. I think the Tech 9 is too good, but I also think it's a little bit overrated at times, at least in like regular matches. Not to say that it's not great, but that there are some limitations. Anyway, that's all I have to talk about for the moment. Thank you for watching, and is there no victory screen? No muss, no fuss. I guess I'll just use this victory screen. Oh my god. Come on. Bro. I like some aspects of this media player, but it's a bit awkward. And boom. Why does it go down? The play thing, the play menu goes down so I can't pause it quickly. Fine, I'll do it myself, okay? There we go. Perfect. All right. And there we have it. Thank you for watching, everyone, and good night.